Yo, what is up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video where I used a team in the Go Battle League, the Open Ultra League to be specific, with a few unique movesets, and it got me to the 3600s ELO range just for one set. Full disclosure, I did lose ELO after that, fell below 3600, but I momentarily got to 3614 with this team. And we've got 10 battles, I believe, to show you where we go on a nice little winning streak. So, the team is Obstagoon, Alolan Muck, and Swampert. The unique movesets I was referring to are Hyper Beam on the Obstagoon and Sludge Wave on the Alolan Muck. And the reason I like having those moves as opposed to Cross Chop, which would be the normal second move on Obstagoon, or Obstruct, some people like to run. Cross Chop's going to be more consistent, but Hyper Beam is going to flip games because people aren't expecting it and you're going to land it. Alolan Muck with Sludge Wave I really like because people will almost never shield the Sludge Wave, because if you're running Poison Jab Muck, they're always going to assume you're running Acid Spray to go with that Poison Jab, since Poison Jab's more of a damage fast move than an energy generation fast move. So without further ado, those are the notes. Get out your notebooks and enjoy the video. Just kidding, you don't have to. I was really bad at taking notes in school. I honestly never took notes until like high school math class, when I actually had to. And history. History kind of had to take notes. AP Euro. Anybody watching this video either currently taking or has taken AP Euro? That was a tough class, but I liked it. Anyway, we bait the Obstagoon, pretending that we have Cross Chop. We just let it go. I'm going to go for a big farm down here with my Muck. And my back line, right, both have a lot of, hard-hitting move potential with the ability to potentially, nuke something. So, I end up deciding, oh, wow, no, I actually let it go. I just use all this energy. I throw my Sludge Wave. I could have done one jab there for better timing, but I throw my Sludge Wave, bang, lands. And now we got Swampert versus Gira. Up a shield. And check this out. I actually go for the bait. I feel like a high-level player is going to shield the first one, because they know I'm not going to bait a Giratina when I'm up a shield. So I actually successfully bait. He knew that I knew that he knew. But I knew. And now we're going to have to start shielding something. We don't want to lose with extra shields. So I got to shield a Dragon Claw here. We already got their final shield. Sylveon's not going to reach a charge move, so I might as well just shield here. He gets to another claw anyway, so would have had to shield one of them. And now I just have to be a little bit concerned about a catch. So you see me over farm. I actually catch myself. And then I wait for a second, and Earthquake, as I see the motion for his Shadow Claw. Oh man, it's so sketchy these days. People are so unpredictable with when they're going to throw, when they're going to catch, especially in these high ELO ranges, and we were able to make the right call there. So very close and very sweaty game there to open things up. Leave a like on the video for that game. That was a pretty good game. We're currently at 3477. You see Obstagoon versus Dragonite. This is awkward. Obviously Superpower threatens to one-shot us, but we do outpace to these Night Slashes that still chunk. So I'm going to land one, and then it's just such a bait game. It's they're probably going to bait me here, but I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to Night Slash. And it is a Superpower, so that works out for us. They swap in Swampert, and check this out. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I go for it. 2 shields still in play. Hyper Beam! Get one shot, Swampert. Get one shot, bro. And at this point, I don't really want to switch lock myself without knowing what's in back, so I decide I'm just going to let Obstagoon go down. And I'm going to Poison Jab down. And you should see what's in back, and it's a G-Fizz, so this is actually kind of scary. I decide I'm not even going to bother building up to Earthquake. I'm just going to go straight Hydro, because I just want to get shields off this thing. I want to get it into Dark Pulse range potentially. And I actually decide to call this, and boom, he baits with Rock Slide. So a good start to this set, man. We're making the right calls. Except for there, I jinxed myself. I jinxed myself. As soon as I said we're making the right calls, we make the wrong call. I go for a bait here. I feel like it's the safer play, because even if he calls it, I can get his next shield here, and he should be in Dark Pulse range at this point, right? And he would have to Earthquake me and Earthquake again. It's not like he can win this matchup and come out with energy, and he actually loses track, which allows me to get to my Hydro, or the opponent just conceded, knowing that there was no longer a win con. So a nice game there, and that's one example where Hyper Beam was absolutely massive. I don't know if we win that game, if they shield that Hyper Beam, or if we don't have Hyper Beam in general. So yeah, I'd say it's hit or miss, which makes sense, right? Because it's such a high energy generation move that if they shield it, it's like a lot of energy to waste, whereas you potentially could have just thrown like multiple Night Slashes. But it certainly has the potential to just totally flip games and create win cons. Next battle, 35-46 Elo, good lead. Another reason I love Obstagoon in Ultra League. Really breaks apart that Trevenant Walrein core, really good against Darks and Ghost types. And one thing worth noting is this team is actually like an Ultra Premier team technically, right? Like it's Ultra Premier. In terms of there's no legendary on this team. However, I think it performs better in the open Ultra League, because I think you tend to find more ghosts and more dark types. I aggressively swap Muck after they live the second Night Slash, and the reason for this is I figure if they're staying in, they likely might have a Walrein in back, or at least something that's weak to Goon, and they come in with an A9. I'm like, what the heck? They come in with A9? I should have just thrown right away like a doofus. Or I don't throw like a doofus. So I have to shield the Weather Ball. I go for my Sludge Wave. I am not expecting them to shield this, right? They think I'm running Acid Spray. Sludge Wave, bang! Get out of here, bro. And it is indeed the Walrein. I go for the Dark Pulse here. All I need is just to like chip this. I grab a shield. I'm going to aggressively swap Swampert here. And Swampert is simply just to absorb energy and get off an Earthquake, because either I get the last shield or I inflict a lot of damage to the point where they'll be encountered downrange. So I think we're in a pretty good position here. The Walrein matchup isn't as dominant without Cross Chop for Goon, but it's still a positive matchup for Goon. It's going to win even shields. And yeah, Walrein's going to have to burn its energy here. I just commit to another Earthquake at this point. Like, either I force him to throw energy or I get to an Earthquake. Bang. And yeah, this is GG's. Walrein going for the full Powder Snow down. Might have been a win con, but honestly, I think our Goon was still too healthy, right? Yeah, Goon could definitely tank 2 Icicle Spears there. Probably would have needed 3 to KO. And we get the win. My. What a game. And also the opponent. Always nice to see our Giratina. They swap. Oh, no, wait. Is this a dreaded Double Charm team? So I'm already suspecting Double Charm at this point. I'm already expecting Double Charm. So that's why I shield my Muck. I shield my Muck. I come out of here with residual energy. I CMP tie the Gira here to land the Dark Pulse. Oh, man. And they're just saving 2 shields for their Charmer. I don't feel like I can shield this. I feel like Swampert's going to need a shield. I come in with Swampert instantly, and it's a Primarina. And I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Gonna bait here with the Hydro Cannon. And they call the Hydro Cannon like a savage. But that Hydro Cannon actually did quite a bit, to the point where at this point I can just keep going for Hydro Cannons. They're going to have to start shielding. I get off another here. This will put it low, and I'm going to have to swap in my Goon. They're throwing a move. I know it's probably a Psychic bait, but I kind of have to shield. And I'm just hoping they don't get to another charge move. Do not reach a charge move, Primarina. Please and thank you. Can we get the counter down? We can, just about. And Giratina was dry when it exited, I believe. So there's 2 away from 1 claw. I get the boost. The unnecessary boost coming in clutch as per usual. Whenever the game is already decided, that's when you get the boost. And we are going to Night Slash here to take out Gira. And 1 counter is going to take out Prima for the win. So we recognized early that it was double charm. I mean, kind of obvious. And we were able to play around it. All right. Alolan Muck here. So I think I might just go for the Hyper Beam in this situation because... Oh, he swaps. He swaps, and this is so awkward, right? Because I'm debuffed. And but this is like such a good matchup. So like I wanted to stay, but I'm also debuffed. So I do flip into my Muck, and the Night Slash is kind of nice because it puts it close to Dark Pulse range. Gonna get hit by a Dragon Claw here. Looks like I overfarm a little bit, have some energy to threaten whatever comes in. If it's the Muck, we're each gonna... Oh, he actually shields. This caught me off guard. Gonna go for another Dark Pulse. Is he gonna use his second Protect Shield? He is. And this is going to open the way for Mr. Obstagoon to land that Hyper Beam, that devastating blow. And we're like, we don't mind this. Giratina trying to flex, beating one of its counters, but we're like, this is okay. We've got all the energy in the world. And we're going to farm up some more, just for kicks and giggles. In comes Muck, but Muck is not ready for what's about to happen. Hyper Beam! And counter down. Obstagoon showing up and showing out. What you got to meet him? It can't be the Gira, it's a Scrafty. Scrafty, a very strong Pokemon. However, we've got a 2-shield Swampert. Rise deciding if he wants to call the bait or not. He gets baited. Unfortunate. Pretty obvious bait there. But again, if I take a foul play, I start to risk getting fast move down before I can take out these 2 Pokemon. I'm going to shield again, expecting another potential bait. But I know I can get to this Hydro Cannon before the next move. So I was perfectly okay calling that, or shielding that no matter what. In comes Gira. And I'm confident that I can just commit to an Earthquake here. Because if they take me out, then my Goon will simply outpace to a Night Slash. Earthquake coming through, bang. Knocks out Gira. And Obstagoon definitely was MVP that game. Essentially took out 2 Pokemon. I guess Muck was pretty good too. Tough lead against the Sylveon. We're met by a Samurott. Underrated pick. Underrated pick in Ultra. Very spammy. Gonna outpace most things. A decent Swampert answer as well. So I'm gonna have to expend a shield here. But I'm okay with that because if the Sylveon comes back in, I might be able to land my Sludge. So that is what I'm hoping for here. Going for it instantly, hoping they're expecting the Acid Spray. Will they shield? No, they will not. Get sludged. And we get the Poison Jab down. And there's a Shadow Swampert in the back. So up a shield, man, this Swampert is still kind of scary. So I just got to be careful here not to throw the game. I've got 2 Pokemon versus 1. The Swampert is 1 Mud Shot ahead of me. So I have to keep that in mind. I'm going to take this first one. Debating whether I want to shield or not. I decide I'm going to shield to get off this next Hydro. And then it should be a pretty easy catch here because my opponent kind of has to throw right away. Otherwise, I'm going to win CMP. Oh, but they don't, like a Savage. Okay. I take it back. Maybe they waited a turn. Very smart by them. And at this point, I think I can just go straight Night Slash because as you see, Obstagoon can actually tank 2 Hydros, just barely. That first one did less than half. So should live this one, and I think that counter that went through may KO the Swampert. And that is a GG. Also, our Swampert in the back was only one mud shot off a Hydro. So we had that as a win con as well. That is a GG. Next opponent. Goon into Swampert. Neutral lead. I'm not a huge fan of Swampert leads because usually like to cover a Swampert, they're going to have like, I don't know, like a steel type in back, something that beats grass, and Muck is going to struggle against the steel type. So I feel like switch advantage. Oh, and they shield the Hyper Beam. That's brutal. They shield the Hyper Beam. Will we be able to come back from this? I'm not sure. And they actually go for the Earthquake. So this opponent is making all the correct calls. I'm going to actually take this as well. And check this out. It's another Earthquake. Making all the right shield calls. Making all the right calls of what move to go for. This opponent is making me look silly at the moment. In comes Trev. I'm going to bank the Hydro. In comes Nido. And this is not looking good. But we're not going to give up just yet. We're not going to give up just yet. At this point, I had to make a call, right? Call the bait or shield. I decided to shield because I figured he's probably really confident in his Trevenant that he might just try to get the shields down here. And then this is a brilliant play by my opponent right here. So in my mind, there's no reason to bait because he's only going to get to 1 Earth Power. However, instead, he goes for double Fang, and in the process is going to double debuff my Muck. And really, really smart play. Because now I'm almost forced to swap out because double debuffed, the Shadow Ball would have KO'd my Muck. Double debuffed, the Shadow Ball would have KO'd my Muck. So I'm forced to swap into Swampert. Unload this energy. It's not quite enough. And my Muck, I don't think is going to be able to hang on. Just too much energy from this Trevenant. You see Shadow Ball nearly KOs. And of course, already has a Seed Bomb. So really well played by the opponent. If I don't shield those 2 Poison Fangs, I think I have a win con. Because I think I keep the shield. But who knows? Maybe I would have been too low anyway from taking double Poison Fang. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I call those Fangs if I win that game. I think it would have been close, though. And a very, just very well played game by the opponent. We gained some more elo here. And we got some more games. Cresselia, awkward lead. Because our Swampert wants to avoid this. So for that reason, it's kind of good. But also Goon doesn't do great here because 2 Moonblasts is nearly going to KO. You're actually going to see I have a rank 1 Obstagoon for Ultra League. So I can actually barely survive 2 Moonblasts, which is kind of crazy for a Dark type to live 2 Moonblasts. But check this out. I let this go knowing I can reach the 3rd Night Slash. Barely live. Like 1 HP. And we get it through. Now we're going to jab down with Muck. And I'm just hopeful that Swampert's going to have a lot of play in the back. But you never know. Cresselia lead, I feel like you could have a multitude of things in the back. In comes G-Fisk. This might be a mistake, throwing my Dark Pulse here. This energy might have been better served saving. And there's a Dragonite. So this is kind of hard countered. I don't know if there was much of a win con this game. Maybe like, I don't know. Maybe if I like catch on my Muck or something, lure out the G-Fisk, get a farm down with Obstagoon, that could be like some sort of play, but pretty hard countered, I would say, in this one. But we're going to fight it out. Not give up just yet. Going to shield this next Dragon Claw from Dragonite. And it just kind of shows how OP Swampert is. Despite having a terrible typing matchup here, it's actually going to be able to win this matchup up a shield, you'll see. Or does it? I don't know if this Hydro KOs actually. Doesn't quite KO, so makes it close, and then I realize shields are down. I'm in Earthquake range. They're not nearly in Dark Pulse range, so we top left there. Night Slash coming through. In a positive matchup here against Trev. And by the way, I've been hearing a little bit more people, there used to be the conversation, right? Like, people call it rage quitting if you top left. I really don't see it that way. I think most people don't see it that way. I think it's maybe like newer players that come from other games will refer to that term. But I think there's a big difference. See that nasty little undercharge there? Gives me 4 counters of farm. Very nice. I'm going to... I was going to say I might swap to preserve my Goon, but let's see if I actually do. I do, okay. I swap Swampert. I lose CMP, unfortunately. I'm going to shield. I don't know about this shield. Because there's probably a wall rain in back, right? So I'm probably better off saving my shields for Goon. Let's see. Hydro Land's going to put us low. I throw immediately, which may force the final shield from Swampert. It does. I throw right away. They make a very clever swap, right? Knowing that I had the potential to get the move off and take out his Swampert. But what I do is I actually bank a Hydro Cannon. I come in with Goon, and now I have to make a decision. Okay, do I shield? Do I let it go? I'm going to let it go. Because now I can simply save a shield for my Muck. And there's no way they can bait me and still land an Earthquake, right? So they go straight for the Earthquake, which is really good for me because I can actually afford to overfarm now. And I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. And now Swampert is going to be forced to throw an Earthquake to take me out. And by expending an Earthquake, you cannot load both an Earthquake and a Hydro Cannon. And we have the Hydro Cannon banked. So really nice plays, I think, from both sides that game. My opponent made a phenomenal catch. And we were able to be a little patient and manage our energy to a point where we were able to overcome that catch in the end game. So I think that was a really high-level game. That was really well played by the opponent. And we were able to come away with the win with some nice plays of our own. Let's see. I feel like there's another battle. Here we go. One more. We got a sneak peek. Cresselia lead. Once again, not a great lead for Obstagoon. Cresselia is just so dang bulky, and Night Slash isn't like the hardest hitting move, right? So even though these are super effective, they're not going to do a ton of damage. It looks like we would need 4 Night Slashes to take out a Cresselia. Huh, maybe in the future I could consider like shielding a move in this matchup. Wonder if that would benefit me, because I would get to 4 Night Slashes before 3 Moonblasts, right? What is it, 7, 6, 7 off the top of my head? I'm not sure. But once again, you see our Goon barely living the second Moonblast. And I like this because it allows me to get a jab down with Muck. And it also lets Swampert avoid the Cresselia. So I believe last time we saw this lead, it was when we got hard countered by the G-Fisk and the Dragonite. So let's see what's in back this time. It's a Scrafty. Okay, so not as bad. We're going for the Sludge Wave. I don't expect a shield, so that's good. We land the Sludge Wave. Going to come in Swampert here. I decide to no shield here, hoping they bait. They land the Foul Play. That's not good for us. But I'm just going to go straight Hydro here. It should nearly KO. Grabs a shield. And another Hydro coming through. Will the Scrafty use their second shield? They do. So this tells me they're probably afraid of Swampert. I know this has to be a power-up punch, but I shield it anyway. Very reluctantly shield it. And I get this off. They catch on Muck. And now this suddenly becomes awkward. Because I kind of have to swap, but my own Muck is so low. and I just simply can't shield this. Like, this is definitely going to be an acid spray. So I call the acid spray, and I actually go over 100 energy here, so I make a critical mistake. I don't know if it would have made the difference because, let's see if I can beat this muck and be like within 1 poison jab from the Dark Pulse. No, I actually get KO'd, so I don't think it made the difference there. Perhaps if I had like done a few mud shots and then entered with my muck to do a little bit more fast move damage, maybe that was the win con there. But that's tough to see in the moment. And you saw that screenshot there at the end for 36-14 was, I think we did another set afterwards and ended up here 36-14. So queue times absolutely atrocious. One of the reasons that I haven't streamed in several days, which is unfortunate because I said I'd try to stream every day this month, which happened for a good 10 days and then started to fall off for a few reasons, the queue times and some other stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. It helps out the YouTube algorithm. So does leaving a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and enjoyed the content. All that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.